tere tulemast tagasi vaatama Level1 YouTube'i kanalile. Täna oleme siin uurimas Gamescomil MAFIA 3. Enne nägime ära gameplay demo, mis oli suurepärane ning nüüd kiire intervjuu. Meie külaliseks on Aron. Hi.
Hi.
Well, MAFIA 2 came out 2010, right? It was amazing. People loved it. They asked for more, yet you waited 5 whole years before announcing another one. Why so?
Well, I'm part of Hangar 13, which is a new studio that 2K's formed in Novato, California, and we've been working on MAFIA 3 for the past few years. And I've been working on it for only about the past year, so that's when I joined the studio.
Yeah, as you said, it is a brand new studio. It has a monumental task by handling one of Take-Two's most beloved game series. How big is the pressure? How big is the stress?
I think we're feeling the pressure, but only as excitement. I mean, we really believe in this project, we really believe in this franchise, and we're really happy to show, what we showed you today with the trailer and the gameplay demo. We're very, very proud of our demo. We busted our ass on it for a very long period of time. So we're more excited than feeling the pressure.
The open world game standards are set pretty high recently. How do you feel about your game reaching those heights and setting the bar even higher?
Well, part of the reason we're so excited to be making MAFIA 3 is it's part of the MAFIA franchise, which is such a really strong sense of time and place. And it's famous for having like really strong characters and a really strong narrative. On top of that, with MAFIA 3, we're going true open world with it. So it's more we're adding on to something which is already existing inside the franchise. So we feel really good about that.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the open world aspects, MAFIA 2 was... some people thought that it's really story focused, and the rest of the open world aspect was left, how do you say, on the back screen. How do you combat that problem? How do you solve that?
I wouldn't see it as a problem. I mean, I really enjoyed MAFIA 2, and obviously, we're here making a sequel, and there's a lot of pressure, you say, and excitement and expectations. So that's a good thing. That's there was a good choice they made. We're keeping that focus on story and character, but also just adding on to it with the open world experience. So we're just trying to push it a little bit further, which is why we have a new setting, a new hero, and a new time period.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the time period, the game takes place in New Orleans, 1968. Why this particular setting?
Well, we didn't want to do the traditional rags-to-riches story of an Italian mobster inside a traditional Italian mafia. So when our studio head Hayden Blackman was thinking about where to put the game and what time to set it in, 1968 and the Deep South really sprung out because it's an unconventional setting for an unconventional mafia story. And plus that year, like the late 60s was such a time of change and tumult, both in like pop culture and overall society as well as in the criminal underworld.
Mm-hmm. We have already seen some concerns by gamers that it's not the traditional mafia setting, the one we have grown accustomed to see in popular culture. Do you believe you win them over?
Oh, absolutely. Like we have the Italian mafia in our game. Vito Scaletta, who is the protagonist of Mafia 2, is returning in Mafia 3. One of our new protagonists, Lincoln Clay, is lieutenants. So we're incorporating that aspect. We're just building on top of it and kind of expanding the concept of what mafia means. It's about family, and our game is ultimately about family.
We saw some glimpses of social issues relevant in this particular time. How much we will see in the final game?
If you set a story in the Deep South in 1968 in our fictional version of New Orleans, with a black protagonist, which we have all of those things, then there's a whole lot of social issues which sort of come with that, it comes with the territory, and we're not shying away from engaging with any of that. At the same time, Mafia 3 is a hard-boiled action story, it's a gangster story, it's a mafia story, so we're really focused on the criminal element of it, but our character exists in a specific time and a specific place, and we feel to be authentic to that and to really make the story as rich as it needs to be, deserves to be, we need to include those elements as well.
Speaking of the gameplay demo,
yes.
Some of the cars looked like they were made of helium. Will it be? Will you tone it down, or will it stay the same?
Well, we're really happy with our physics-driven driving model. We're shooting for it's called Hollywood action driving. Mm-hmm. So our cars have a really impressive level of detail, like the amount of tire pressure in each tire, and how warm they are, and so on. And players can really feel that as you drive around. Driving is one of the most fun things in our game, and the team does it all the time. at the same time, we're trying to really capture the spirit of those late 60s action movies like Bullet. So we have really great car combat and kind of car takedowns and you ram into people and so on. As to what we saw in the demo, obviously we're still really early. We just did our reveal, and we're just kind of a work in progress as well.
Oh, it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Concerning that it's work in
But
progress.
we're not finished yet. Right?
Of course.
Say that. Yeah.
Speaking of movies, what other films did you take inspiration from?
We take a variety from pop music, books. As far as films go, I'd say Bullet would be a very strong reference. Easy Rider would be a very strong reference as well. Perhaps the latter half of Goodfellas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that covers most of it. We left the biggest question for last. MAFIA II broke a world record by having the most swear words in a video game. Will this record be broken by MAFIA 3?
I think if our writers have anything to say about it, it definitely will.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Selline ta oligi, MAFIA 3 ilmub aastal 2016 suure lootusega kindlasti ja suured ootused on. Mis me oskame öelda, 2016 võiks kiiremini kohale jõuda. Vaadake meie teisi YouTube'i videosid ning kohtume juba järgmisel korral.